Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you are returning, it is so lovely to see you again. As you can probably tell, my background is looking a little bit different, and that is because I am not home and I am spending some time at my partner's family's cottage, but I still wanted to try and film something while I was here, so I figured that I would try something a little bit different today. So I've been wanting to do some outdoor stitching, but I've never really gotten around to doing it. I've always been making up excuses for myself, so I figured why not bring you with me, and we're gonna try something a little bit different. And for the beginning of this video, I'm gonna take you to the beach with me, and we're gonna do some beach stitching. Don't worry, I do have a full video planned out, so I'm gonna come back to the cottage and we'll do a proper sit down, but in the meantime, let's go stitch on the beach. Okay, we made it to the beach. It is such a beautiful day out. I'm really grateful to be here and to have decided to finally do something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. I've been really having a craving lately to try stitching outdoors and in different places lately, or just bringing my stitching with me wherever I'm going. But specifically when it comes to wanting to stitch outside, I found myself always making excuses for all kinds of reasons, whether it's not wanting my projects to get dirty, or thinking that it's a little bit too much effort, or it would just be easier to stitch at home. I really wanted to challenge myself and start stitching in places that really bring me joy and elevate the experience, if you will. So maybe it will turn into a bit of a series. Come stitch with me, fill in the blank somewhere. But I guess to start off, we're gonna stitch at the beach. I brought with me my Tiny Modernist Dark Forest. I'm gonna do a proper update when I'm back at the cottage, but in the meantime, this is the progress that I have so far. Yeah, I'm gonna put some music in and get stitching. Okay, I have been stitching for a little while. I am getting a little bit hungry and thirsty. I should have brought some snacks with me. That's all right. I am gonna head back to the cottage and we'll do the full stitch recap there. See you in a sec. Okay, we are back at the cottage. I have everything laid out in front of me and I'm ready to give you the full recap that I have prepared for you today. So bear with me, I do have my laptop in front of me. I'm going to be looking down and checking some notes because there's definitely a lot to cover. An overview of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to start off with just a bit of a July stitching recap and talk about what I stitched on in July. Then I would love to do a micro recap on Midsummer Stitch. I know that I already did a full dedicated video about it, but I wanted to talk a little bit more after I've had some time to reflect about it. I finally was able to secure the giveaway winner for the Flower Shop giveaway, so I'm excited to announce that. I'm going to talk a little bit about round robin updates that Jason X Cross Stitch has been hosting and where my group is in their round robin progress. And of course, we'll do some classic whips, new starts, finishes, and some upcoming stitching plans. So without further ado, let's jump in. In July, I stitched 21 out of 31 days, which is not too bad. That is across 6 different projects and 2 of them being new starts. July definitely was a really busy month. Summertime is always really challenging because I find myself being pulled in so many different directions as far as different hobbies I want to participate in, and I am in the middle of training for a couple of different races, and I had a race last week, so it's been a bit of a balancing act trying to dedicate time to those activities while also making sure I'm getting stitching in, but 21 out of 31 days is not too shabby. I do expect those numbers to stay equally as low, maybe even a little bit lower for August, because August is somehow even more jam-packed, but come September, I'm expecting to have a little bit more of a consistent stitching ratio. But regardless, I'm really happy with those numbers, and the fact that it was across quite a good number of projects and there was 2 new starts during that, I'm very satisfied with. I will take you through all of the projects and their progress in a little bit, but that is a rough overview. I will also try and add up a bit of a stitch calculator, or a total stitch number of how many stitches I stitched in July. If I can figure out how to do that, I'll pop it up on the screen here. Hopefully it's a big, nice, impressive number. As many of you know, especially if you watched my last video, you would know that I participated in Lindy Stitch's Midsummer Stitched, and it was such a lovely experience, and I'm so glad that I was able to put a small video together to share my day-to-day experience there. And since the retreat has ended, I have still been in contact with a bunch of people that I met during the retreat, which is so lovely, and I have so many new group chats with different people that we can just continue to share our excitement for upcoming projects, or get opinions on projects that we're kitting up, or just share inspiration that we have. I know that one of my group chats was booming when Jetic Stitch finally released the blueberry pattern, so that is immediately on my wish list. I'm probably going to wait until the PDF pattern is released, but I am still thinking about that pattern quite often and very excited to add it to my list of whips. I won't go too much into detail about Midsummer Stitch because, like I said, I did do a full video, so if you are curious about what an online retreat looks like, go check that out. I am really looking forward to the upcoming online retreat. I believe it's called the Harvest Moon Hangout in mid-September. I am really looking forward to that. I already have it on my calendar. If you do get a ticket, I would love to be able to connect with you, and hopefully we'll be able to chat more there. Some other exciting things that have happened since we last spoke is I was finally able to meet in person one of the very first Stitch friends that I made, and that is Stitched by Kendall. I have mentioned her a couple of times. I will be showing the project that I'm working on, our pattern swap together, but we were finally able to meet in real life, and we went and grabbed a coffee and chatted about cross stitch and crafting and hobbies and this and that and all kinds of different things. But it was so lovely to finally meet her in person and start forming some more local in-person stitch connections. So I have started building a collection of more local in-person stitch friends, and we've been talking a little bit about maybe we're gonna have to come up with some sort of stitching meetup group just with us at some point soon. So if that ends up panning out, I'll definitely be taking you with me. But super excitingly, Kendall has actually started a Flosstube, and I believe she put her second episode out just today or yesterday or whenever I'm filming this. So if you're looking for new Flosstubers to follow, please go check her out. She is so fantastic, and I'm excited to see what the Flosstube journey ends up looking like for her. And then I am so excited to finally share the winner of the Flower Shop giveaway in celebration of 1,000 subscribers, which is wild because I think we're more than halfway to 2,000 subscribers, so I'm gonna have to start coming up with some sort of celebration for that as well. And the winner of the giveaway is Stitching Diva 328. So if that is you, please reach out to me on Instagram or email. I will put your name here. I'm gonna try and reach out to you as well. But if that's you, I'm so excited to be able to send the giveaway prize to you, and I hope that you enjoy stitching the Flower Shop pattern with all of the necessary kitted items. So then the other big thing that's been happening in my stitchy world is the beginning of the round robin that I'm participating in. And this round robin is hosted by Jason X Cross Stitch, and I am blown away with what he is organizing. Not only did he take it upon himself to initiate this round robin, he put this beautiful Google form together that you were to fill out and submit with all kinds of different preferences on what you want your round robin experience to be like. He then took all of this information, individually put us all into groups catered towards our stitching preferences or our preferences on keeping it international or domestic shipping. So Jason is referring to this round robin as Stitching Connection. And there are 71 people involved with this massive round robin initiative. And those 71 people are now put into 18 different stitching groups. These 71 people in the 18 different groups are from 9 different countries, which is really, really exciting. There's a bunch of international folks that are participating, so it's been really interesting to be able to meet so many different people. I guess to give you an overview of what has happened so far. Granted, I have not been doing a very good job of actually documenting, filming when these things are happening, so bear with me. I'm gonna start doing a better job at it moving forward, but I'm gonna have to just give you the audible experience right now. So to start off, as soon as the round robin began, I had 2 emails in my inbox. One was a welcome to Stitch Connection and here's what we're doing, and the other was connecting me with my direct round robin group, which was so exciting. From there, it was kind of put on us to start figuring out how we were going to communicate with our group. Thankfully, my group seems really comfortable with creating a WhatsApp chat, and that's how we have been able to connect. So in my group, I have Tina, Matt, and Joan. Matt and Joan are from the US, and Tina is actually only about an hour away from me in Canada, which is really exciting. It's so funny. Her and I have attended similar stitching events before, but never on the same day. So we've been crossing paths for some time now, but it's great to be able to finally connect with her, and perhaps at some point in the future we'll actually be able to attend a stitch event together. Once we were in the WhatsApp group, we've been able to chit-chat a little bit and start to get to know a little bit about each other, as well as what some of our hopes and dreams and goals are for this round robin. So once that connection was made, Jason then added a couple different Zoom call invites to give a basic introduction to what this round robin looked like. So I was able to attend 2 of the Zoom calls, and I wasn't really sure what to expect going into them, to be honest. It was really nice because everybody was able to have an opportunity to introduce themselves, where are they from, and a little bit about where they are in their stitching journey. So it was a really exciting way to meet a lot of new stitchers in one sitting. From there, Jason would give a bit of an introduction and an opportunity for anybody to ask any questions that they had about their round robin, and then he would put us into breakout groups with our specific connection. So it was during the second Zoom call that Jason organized that our full group was present, and we were all able to connect and speak with one another for the first time, which was really, really exciting. So Jason has expressed to us that his role in this round robin is a facilitator. He is the organizer, the mastermind behind all of this, but he is leaving a lot of the specifics of each individual connection up to the group themselves, which is presented a lot of opportunity for a lot of different kinds of round robins, which is really exciting. So in the most recent Zoom call, we had an opportunity to do a bit of a show and share of where everybody is in their round robin journey. And it was so interesting to hear the different ways that people were deciding to tackle this. So there was some folks that were deciding that they were all going to stitch on the same pattern, and once it was all complete, they'd all walk away with the exact same project. And a lot of other groups had decided they're all going to pick different patterns and they'll all walk away with something different. What was really interesting is that there are some groups that are doing a really good job of kind of building a theme around it. It sounds like sometimes it was intentional and sometimes it was not, but for example, there was one group that decided that they were going to have a bit of a winter theme, and that was kind of just the loose theme that each project would be, but by sheer coincidence they all picked a house. So they are now kind of the winter house group, which is so sweet and so nice that they'll all be related but different. Oh, and I just think it's so clever. So it was really interesting to hear about all of the different projects that everybody is going to work on. And some people were so ahead. Some people were even done stitching individual sections and were ready to ship to the next person. So the group that I am a part of, we are labeled as Connection F. So when Connection F finally was able to connect together, we had decided that we would like to take the approach of each of us choosing a different project so that we all are able to stitch on something different when it arrives to us and it won't become feeling like repetitive. So once we decided that we were wanting to each individually select our own patterns, we decided that it was important to lay some ground rules or guidelines so that they were all within a similar scope of stitching. So the first thing that we identified is that our group is predominantly comfortable on Aida. So we knew that the fabric choice was going to be Aida in some kind of count. And then we decided that we were comfortable with a 3-ish month timeline to get the stitching done. None of us wanted to feel like this was becoming really deadline oriented or feeling like there was pressure to stay on top of it. So we are running with a really loose timeline so that it stays fun and doesn't become stressful. So keeping that in mind, we decided that an approximate stitch count of around 20,000 stitches would be suitable for this. So we were all looking for projects that would fit into those requirements. The last time that we connected, we all had our patterns chosen and we were able to share with one another which patterns we picked. Joan has selected this really beautiful, I'm not sure what the right word is, it's like, it looks a little bit like a sampler. It's really, really pretty. I'm gonna try and put some pictures up here if I can find them, but I thought it was so, so sweet and I'm really excited to stitch this. It's something very different for me, but I've been really interested in the kind of collage looking pattern, so I'm excited to give this a shot. Tina has selected this really cute house style pattern, and she says that it's reminded her of some houses in Newfoundland and the really, really colorful, picturesque neighborhoods. And this one especially I think is going to be really nice and easy to divide up for the round robin because it is so symmetrical and geometric. And then Matt has selected this dragon pattern and he's decided to kind of do something a little bit different. Rather than having a full pattern that's separated into 4s, this individual dragon is about the stitch count for one person. So he's just going to quadruple it so that it's going to be 4 dragons and we're all going to be able to choose our own colors so that they're all unique. The pattern that I have selected is this rabbit and hare. I honestly had a really hard time choosing a pattern, and specifically because some of the items in my wish list are either far too small for something like this or far too big for a round robin. So I had to narrow down what I was looking for, and I came across this pattern on Etsy and I immediately really fell in love with it. It will be nice and easy because it is just a singular floss color. I haven't fully kitted up yet. I'm feeling a little, I keep going back and forth on what I want the colors to be because the sample, I really like the green fabric, but I don't really like stitching in white or cream. And doing the whole piece like that, I can imagine myself getting a little bit frustrated. So I'm considering switching it to a more cream fabric and perhaps a green floss. Regardless, I really need to lock in what I want to do for that, but at the very least we have the pattern selected. So by the time this Flosstube is uploaded, I'll probably already be diving in and having some stitches on fabric, but in the meantime, that's where we're at. If you are interested in learning more about Jason Cross Stitch's stitching connection, he has put together a website. Can you believe that? And it's like a really interesting website. It gives you all the information about what the round robin is on top of outlining every single connection, adding little profile pictures, so all kinds of different fun information that you can kind of keep track of where people's round robins are at. So if you're looking for more information, go check that out. I'll link it down below. And I will be sure to continue to update you as things move forward in the Connection F round robin. So I guess we're probably good to move on to a deep dive into what am I stitching on lately. Okay, I've had 2 new starts since we've talked last. So one that you probably have seen a little bit already from the Midsummer Stitch event is this piece. It's called Dark Forest by Tiny Modernist. And this was an exclusive pattern that was available at Midsummer Stitch, so I could not resist and had to get it, and I had to start it during the retreat. This has been a really, really fun project to work on. I have swapped out a couple of the colors to things that are a little bit more to my taste. I'm making really good progress on this. I'm 63% of the way complete, not including backstitching. And this is actually the first project I've ever backstitched on. So there's definitely a bit of a learning curve, and I hear sometimes folks express that they really don't like backstitching. I'm a little bit worried I'm that kind of person. It's just a little bit different. So I'm still getting into the groove of it, but I love the way it looks already. So it's painful, but it is so worth it. It just makes the colors pop out so much more. I'm not really sure how I want to fully finish this yet, but I really want to try something different. It's gonna be quite small, a lot smaller than I originally had anticipated. So if you've got any ideas of what I might be able to finish this as, I'd be most interested in doing something that is practical or useful. So part of me was thinking maybe stitching together a needle book, or maybe like a little like change purse or something. I'm not so sure, but if you've got some ideas of what this would be good for to fully finish, let me know in the comments below. I've definitely got some more work to be done on it, but I expect to finish this relatively soon. It's been a really fun stitch. I'm stitching this on Pub Crawl from Roxy Floss, and I believe this is a 28 count even weave, and I'm stitching it 2/1. So the next new start that I have, this is called Strawberry Milk, and this is from a Flosstuber and creator that I have actually been speaking with online. Their handle is Sens Needlework, and we are doing a pattern swap. She is currently stitching my flower shop pattern, and I am stitching her Strawberry Milk pattern. It's a really, really small, cute pattern that has been nice and easy breezy to work on. So I take the train to get into work when I have to go into the office, and this has been a really nice small piece that I can take with me that doesn't require too much counting, but it's just easy enough that it is suitable for stitching on the go. And it's so nice and small, and it fits in this tiny little bag, which is perfect, so it doesn't feel like I'm lugging around a big giant craft bag with me everywhere I go. This is stitched on hand dyed by Rolanda's Misty Mauve in 25 count Aida. If I'm wrong, I have it listed below. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm about 31% complete, so I don't expect this one to take me much longer. But yeah, cute little Strawberry Milk. So you are all very familiar with my other pattern swap, Majora's Mask. This is Stitch by Kendall's pattern. I keep saying I'm gonna get this one done, and I'm so close, but again, it's the black Aida. I don't like stitching on dark fabric. I do like the way it looks so much, but anytime I think about wanting to stitch, it's just not one that I gravitate towards because of the black Aida. That being said, pulling it out now, I am so close. I just need to get this done. I actually was able to show Kendall this when I saw her for coffee, and I expressed to her, I was like, oh, I think I might have cut my fabric too small to do the outside ring. She thinks that I might have enough room, so I'm gonna have to just try it out and see. Otherwise, I already gave her a fair warning. Some pattern adjustments might be required in order for me to fit it on this piece of fabric that I cut. I don't know what my problem is lately with cutting fabric. This, I gave myself way too much fabric, and this one not enough. I need to learn to count twice before I cut, I think. But this is Majora's Mask, and this one, I think I'm over 50% of the way done. I can't get this pattern into Pattern Keeper, so I don't have a super accurate number, but I know that I'm really close and I just need to lock in and get it done. Okay, the next project that you'll all be familiar with is Cozy Living by Copper Green Studio. I am 56% complete this project. I finally have gotten the back wall in almost all of the way. But this has been one of those projects that every time I think I have all the colors that I need, I go to work on it and I'm missing one, like constantly. I don't know how that's possible. So that's why the progress on this has been so slow, because every time I go to stitch on it, I'm missing something. And it's hard to see, but there is more progress down here than it looks like, I promise you. But there's a lot of stitches that are a very similar color to the purple fabric. They'll look really nice when they're surrounded by the rest of the piece, but right now, they're definitely getting a little bit lost right now. But I'm really happy with the way this one's turning out. And I'm gonna just keep on chugging along with it. And hopefully, when I pick it up next time, I actually have the colors that I'm looking for. But if it's gonna go anything like it has been, I'll be missing something. That's okay though. So the next whip that I want to show you is one of the new self-drafted patterns that I am still in the process of testing out. And the last time you would have seen this would have been in my very first Flosstube, and it was a new start that I did at Stitch North. I don't remember what I was stitching on, but I didn't like the way it was looking, so I tried it again on a 28 count even weave. I believe this is the color Speculous by Roxy Floss Co. And this is where I've gotten so far. So it says that I am 24% of the way complete this. And listen, you're gonna think I'm crazy. I think I'm gonna start over again. But here, this is why. I really, really like the pattern. I think that I like it so much that I am being hypercritical about it, and I'm feeling like I want it to be perfect. So some things that I don't like about it right now is how dense the stitching is. And I feel like I need a higher count if I'm gonna do 1/1. And I haven't worked on it for a little while because I'm feeling so unsure about where it's at right now. The other thing is that I think that my sister would really like this pattern. And so there's part of me that wants to start over and stitch it on a tote bag to gift to her for her birthday in November. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'm gonna start over for the third time. So I've ordered some waist canvas from Etsy, I believe in an 18 count. I don't know, I just feel like this design would look really good on a tote bag, and I just feel like it's not doing it justice in this form. You're probably not gonna see any more of this. And hopefully next time I'm showing you, there will be more progress on a tote bag. The next thing I wanna show you is actually a finish. And I think I showed it a little bit at my Midsummer Stitch recap, but I finished my Biscornu, the top and the bottom. I love the colors so, so much. I'm so excited to learn how to fully finish it. I'm definitely going to start working on that soon when I'm back at home. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I'm definitely going to start trying out some more Biscornus. And then last but not least, it is not technically a whip, but it is a fully kitted up whip that I intend on making some progress on this weekend. I'm actually doing some model stitching for a stitcher that I met online. Her Etsy account is JDoesXStitch. I'll link it below. I am stitching one of her Pokemon alphabet pieces. So I'm doing J is for Jigglypuff. I will put a picture here. So that will be something that I'm starting in the very near future. I have all the materials with me up here at the cottage, so it is something I plan on. Maybe I'll start that tonight. But it should be a pretty quick stitch. It's pretty small. I had everything that I needed in stash already. She said that she didn't have any preferences for fabric. I just had some scrapped 18 count oatmeal Aida from DMC that I figured would work fine for this. So you'll probably see an update from me on that next time. So what else is next for me? I have a couple of stitching events lined up for August. Our local needlework store is actually hosting a monthly stitch night. So I plan on attending that with a couple of stitch friends. I'm really excited to go because I'm almost embarrassed to say this. I've actually never been to our local needlework shop. I didn't know that existed until semi-recently, and now I've just been saving the opportunity to go for this stitch night. So I'll be attending that about mid-August, and I will try and get some footage to share what that is like. I know that one of my stitch friends, Lindsay from Maybe Stitching, is having a small stitching at a library gathering that I'm gonna try and attend. It's gonna be a tough day. I have a race in the morning, a triathlon race in the morning, but those end up finishing up pretty early in the afternoon typically, so I'm gonna try and see if I have enough energy to join them for that afterwards. And then as far as projects that I'm gonna be working on next, I am definitely going to try and finish up as many of my whips as I can, because none of them are really that big of projects. A lot of them are quite small, so I feel like I'm gonna focus in on finishing some stuff and then waiting for the Jetic Stitches blueberry, I can't remember what it's called. I'll put the name up here, but the new Jetic Stitch pattern that's going to be released, the PDF version in October. So I'm probably gonna just work on waiting for that and kitting up as much as I can so that I can start when that PDF is available. Okay, I do think that wraps up today's Flosstube. So thanks so much for being here in this atypical location. I'll probably be back in my craft room next time, but maybe not. Maybe there will be more cottage Flosstubes in the future. Regardless, thanks so much for being here. If you're curious about anything that I mentioned, I'm gonna link everything down below, and I will see you next time.